Before exploding into a shower of confetti and shouts, the lights inside the American Idol studio were turned down gradually until they reached a lovely gold color. As host Ryan Seacrest made the announcement, a young guy from Meridian, Mississippi stood in the middle of it. He had his hands over his face, and his shoulders were shaking with astonishment. This was the beginning of what would soon become one of the most significant moments in the recent history of the show. After just being elected the winner of American Idol 2025, Jamal Roberts, a physical education teacher who is 27 years old and the father of 3 daughters, was celebrating his victory. With his victory, he entered a legacy that had been in the making for 20 years. He became the first black male champion since Ruben Studdard in 2003, and he was only the second person in the entire history of the legendary reality competition to win the title. The moment was both nostalgic and groundbreaking for those who had been watching for a long time. For Jamal, it signified the beginning of a career that had been created through adversity, humility, and quiet perseverance. Going from the classroom to the world stage. Before he was in the public eye and in front of the cameras of television, Jamal had a life that was governed by regularity and responsibilities. In the evenings, he would spend his time assisting his 3 daughters with their homework or cooking meals for the next day. He also coached community teams and taught physical education at a school in the village. For him, music was a safe haven. It was a love that he indulged in late at night, and it was something that he relied on to survive in the midst of the never-ending obligations of adulthood. There was no official training in vocal performance, nor did he have any professional experience. The voice that he carried was one that had been formed by church choirs, family gatherings, and the kind of singing that is intimate and belongs to those who never want the world to hear them. He auditioned for American Idol, not because his life permitted him to do so. Rather, he did so because he was unable to ignore the pull of potential any longer. Jamal's talent was not the only thing that marked him apart during the season. His raw honesty was also a significant factor. He appeared to be someone who viewers were familiar with, such as a diligent parent, a teacher from a small town, or a person who was attempting to balance their dreams with their responsibilities. The fact that he was able to connect with the millions of people who ultimately voted for him served as a powerful bridge between him and those individuals. A night that completely transformed everything. On May 18, the conclusion of the 23rd season of American Idol transpired in the manner of a celebration that was intended to recognize not only the competitors, but also the legacy of a show that continues to have an impact on the culture of modern music. A staggering amount of nearly 26 million votes were cast, which broke the record set the previous year and demonstrated the deep level of interest that people had in the election overall. Both of the 2 outstanding finalists presented Jamal with a formidable challenge. His easy delivery and genuine country charm garnered him a devoted following, and John Foster was the one who brought him that. The formidable vocalist Brenna Nix, who has a contemporary gospel pop edge to her sound. However, after all of the results were tabulated, Roberts emerged as the winner, with Foster coming in second place and Nix coming in third. The performance sequence that he gave that demonstrated both his emotional intelligence and his artistic versatility was the one that helped him win the competition. It was his performance of Anthony Hamilton's Her Heart that became the centerpiece of the conclusion. It was a performance that held the weight of his entire journey. The lyrics of this song were written by a guy who had experienced enough of life to have a profound understanding of heartbreak, hope, and healing. Following that, he performed First Time by TEKS, which included soulful phrasing that filled the room with warmth, and Just My Imagination by The Temptations, in which his smooth falsetto and classic R&B instincts delighted both the judges and the viewers. In addition to hitting notes, his voice was able to generate atmosphere, the kind of environment that envelops an audience in a sense of meaning and memory. a trip that is constructed on resilience. During the course of the season, Jamal was candid about the challenges that had a significant impact on his life. He discussed in an open and honest manner the difficulties he faced in finances, the emotional obstacles he faced, and the difficulty of balancing parenting with ambition. In order to go to the competition on his own, he had to make sacrifices, such as spending time away from his children, traveling for extended periods of time, facing uncertainty, and feeling the strain of entering a world that was very different from the gym floors and lesson plans that he had previously used to organize his days. But as each round progressed, his self-assurance increased. The audience witnessed him as he gained confidence in his own voice, broadened his range of creative options, and allowed his personality to show through the spotlights of the stage. The story of his development became one of the most important narratives of the season, serving as a reminder that genius is frequently concealed beneath years of patient perseverance. An ending that is complete with stars. In and of itself, the conclusion was a spectacle that was deserving of the momentous occasion. The following are some of the notable musicians who performed on stage. Pop-punk energy, brought to you by Charlotte the Good. Jennifer Holliday, releasing her famed powerhouse voice through her performance. In a performance that exudes a sense of nostalgia, Jessica Simpson. The Goo Goo Dolls are bringing a legendary set that has delighted fans for a very long time. High-profile duets were performed by each of the top 3 finalists, in addition to the guest performances that were presented, respectively. An unexpected yet smooth collaboration that demonstrated Jamal's flexibility, the partnership of Jamal and Jelly Roll gave emotional weight and grit to the song. During this time, John Foster and Luke Bryan, one of the judges, were there on stage together. Brenna Nix, along with Brandon Lake, gave a performance that was both moving and captivating. The panel of judges, who consisted of Luke Bryan, Carrie Underwood, and Lionel Richie, watched with a sense of pride as their final 3 hopefuls transformed the stage into a celebration of extraordinary talent and transformation. In the following, we will discuss the prize and the promise. Winners of American Idol receive a lot more than just a medal and confetti when they take home the prize. According to Newsweek, the winner is awarded a record contract with Hollywood Records, as well as a financial package that is intended to assist in the production of their first album. Jamal will be fortunate enough to receive the initial payment of $125,000. After finishing a full album, another $100,000. As was the case with previous winners, he has the potential to get a total advance of up to $300,000 in order to develop his initial proposal. Despite the fact that the money can be recouped from future earnings, it is an essential runway for work in the areas of recording, production, composition, and promotion. Although the framework has changed over the years to accommodate changes in the economy, its primary objective has remained the same: to provide a new artist with the impetus they require to begin their career in the business. For Jamal, the prize is more than just a means of financial support. It is the key that unlocks the door to a life that he had previously only dreamed. It is the opportunity to replace the sound of school bells and gin whistles with the sound of recording studios, tour rehearsals, and the creative venues where young artists carve out their place in the world. A better reputation than a victory. The victory of Jamal Roberts has repercussions that extend deeply beyond the bounds of a competition series. As the first Black man to win American Idol since Ruben Studdard, his journey re-establishes the show's connection to one of its most significant cultural strands, which is the celebration of Black artistry in mainstream American music. His narrative serves as a timely reminder of how uncommon representation may still be, as well as how potent it can be when it rears its head again. Young viewers who watched him week after week saw someone who looked like them, came from the same place they came from, and held dreams that were not created by privilege but by resiliency. When viewed from every angle, Jamal's victory appears to be the beginning of something far bigger. The show has reached a significant milestone. His community has experienced a moment of success, and the first chapter of a career that promises to be rich in soul, sincerity, and other qualities. At this point in time, he is not returning to the spotlight as a teacher who is pursuing a goal. Rather, he is returning as an artist who has transformed hope into history.